what's happened, everybody, guys? Stream went wrong. Oh no! The stream. You know what happened? I was just carrying this mice, walking around, and you know what? Out of nowhere, I clicked a button, and you see this little X button. I clicked it, and oh my, the stream stopped, and everything went wrong after that. And I have rescheduled the new stream, and I scheduled it for now, and now we are on live again. So we are going to start from the beginning of the slide. All right, so we're starting from Colossians chapter 3, verse 19. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. I will start from 18 to 20. 18 says, wives, submit yourself to your own husbands as is fit in the Lord. And husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. And children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord. What is well-pleasing unto the Lord? Children obeying your parents. So, husbands, love your wives. And wives, the Bible didn't say wives love your husbands. So does that mean that wives don't have to love their husbands? No. A loving family means everybody loves each other. Okay? It's not like one family member loves the other family member, while the other family member doesn't love that family member who loves him or her. That doesn't make sense, right? What does it mean by a loving family? What does that mean? That means the whole family loves each other, right? So that's why if you want to have a family, the whole family must love each other. I'll move on to the next slide. I'm going to skip these slides. I'll go to the previous slide. There are many animals who are called monogamous, means they mate for life. And most of them are birds. Why are not people mating for life? People like to think they are very faithful, but animals who don't know as much as they know are more faithful than them. How come? Swans mate for life, and I want you both of you to come. I want everybody to come and see the pictures. What a swan, two necks of a swan makes. What's that?
Heart.
A heart. Even swans mate for life. It seems like I did research yesterday afternoon when I was preparing the sermon. It seems like most animals mate for life. But sadly, who do not? We humans, who do know much better than animals. Did God tell people, thou shalt not commit adultery? I'll put it here. Did God tell people, thou should not commit adultery? Okay, here's a funny joke about committing adultery. A funny joke about committing adultery was, a boy was in the classroom and the teacher said, everybody knows what it means by thou should not commit adultery. And one boy said, this is how what I'm trying to say. It says, thou shalt not come eat all dirty. Yeah, very easy to remember. If you don't know what it means by adultery, means loving something more than God or having more than one wife. But if you are young and you can't remember that, just remember the rule your parents always tell you, thou shalt not come eat all dirty. That means you do not go in front of the dining table with your hands dirty after you finish playing with the money. Okay? Just remember that and you'll remember commit adultery. Because it sounds similar if you speak really fast, like I can do commit adultery. And in my hair, come eat all dirty. So, well, I'm not going to teach here. Swans mate for life, and they're monogamous. And if you it might be very surprising for you. Click on the next slide. Animals that mate for life. Why is on the list? Gibbons. And what are gibbons? They are lesser apes. What are lesser apes? Not an ape, not a monkey. They're just called lesser apes. I did many research on apes before. Of course, I never got to see one ape before. But I went to see monkeys before. Actually, they were not in zoos. They were in the lab. In Malaysia, in the beach. Now I'm going to tell a story. In Malaysia, in the beach, I was just walking around in the beach. I'm not really walking around, but I was going back to my aunt's home. And we saw, you know what we saw? A monkey. And anybody of you still remember here? The monkey, as you watching funny monkey videos, those monkeys who are monkeying around, climbed up the chair, and opened someone's bed. Yeah, I still have the video of that, but I'm not going to show you right now because it's on my other computer. So it would take like one year to open it up, because I can tell you slow. All right, so many animals mate for life, even people's closest relative, not relative, but cousin, the apes. People like to think that apes are people's closest cousins, but they think as almost as well as people. They mate for life, but why don't people mate for life? People aren't as faithful as how animals are. If you know that dogs are so faithful that a couple of dogs that I know have been known to wait for days outside the hospital waiting for their sick owner. And also, one that I know, everybody knows this one, Fido. I hope everybody knows this dog. His name is Fido. And he waited outside the hospital for about 10 years, 10 to 12 years, which is about 70 to 90 years in human years. That's a very long time. Imagine you waiting for somebody for 70 to 90 years, staying right there just waiting for him. That's a long time. Even 10 years is very long, right? And also another story about Shep, a dog. I think he's a collie or somewhat like that. He waited for his owner who fell down from the stairs and probably got a concussion or something, and went to the hospital, turned on the hospital, and the dog waited there for him. And he waited there for 10 years. And 10 years in dog, if you remember the rule, 1 year for Fido equals 15 years for you. The 10 year for Fido equals 70 years for you. So, and wolves mate for life. Wolves, the sound, woo, those animals mate for life. And eagles mate for life. You know, eagles that are flying in the air, those guys mate for life. Even though you might think they are not so kind animals, they are really kind to be special. They mate for life. And imagine this, penguins mate for life. It seems like all animals mate for life, but not all. Aren't people supposed to be following animals mating for life? I don't mean people should be following exactly what animals do, like eating from the ground. No, but people should be following some good stuff that animals do, like gorillas. People should be following what they do. What do they do? They're peaceful. Shouldn't people be peaceful in their house? Yeah. Let me move on to the next slide. Quiz. Why do more animals mate for life than humans? Why is that? Why is that more animals mate for life than people? Why? Because they're more faithful. How come those animals can be more faithful? Those animals who don't know much can be more faithful than us humans who are smarter. Why? Tell me why, guys. They're both gone. Wow, the sun is getting brighter now. It was snowing this morning, actually. It was snowing for a couple of hours. But now it's getting brighter, a little bit of clouds out there. Right. Oh, right. job is too deep now. Alright, now we finally, just now we were talking about yesterday's sermon, now we are for today's sermon. Happy Sabbath, guys. So just now in the beginning of the sermon, I'd like to wish you guys on YouTube a happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. Now I did it too. So now let's grab our Bibles, and we will take the Bible and flip to Ephesians. Let's go to the book of Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 5. And you know which verse I'm going to say? Do you know what verse I'm going to say? 22 to 27. Ephesians chapter 5, 22 to 27. Now, guys, I want everybody to come up here and read. Read in Ephesians chapter. We're not read the Bible now, but we're going to read from here. You will read the bold, and I'll read. Well, the whole congregation of us will read the bold here, and I'm going to read the lighter ones. Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will provide a partner for him." The Lord God then built up the rib which he had taken out of the man into a woman. He brought her to the man, and the man said, "Now this at last bone from my bones, flesh from my flesh, this shall be called woman, for from man was this taken. For this reason a man shall leave his father and a mother, and be made one with his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." It follows that they are no longer two individuals, they are one flesh. What God has joined together, man must not separate.
Be subject to one another
out of reverence for Christ. Wives, be subject to your husbands as to the Lord, for the man is the head of the woman, just as Christ also is the head of the church. Husbands, love your wives as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for it,
to consecrate it,
cleansing it by water and word, so that he might present the church to himself, all glorious, with no stain or wrinkle or anything of the sort, but holy and without blemish. In the same way, men also are bound to love their wives as they love their own body. In loving his wife, a man loves himself, for no one ever hated his own body. On the contrary, he provides and cares for it. So now, we're going to read from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22 to 27. Analogy of family and church. Wives, submit yourself unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. What does it mean by submit yourself unto the own husbands? You see what I underlined here? Submit yourselves unto your own husbands. This one I underlined. Oh, sorry. Wives, submit yourself unto who? Your own husbands. As unto the Lord. So, what does it mean by submitting yourself unto your own husbands as unto the Lord? Listening to him, right? Do you listen to God? So wives ought to listen to their own husbands. As I said earlier, wives are not like being in the prison. They can't make a decision. But wives can make a decision. But when the wife makes a decision, the husband must agree with it. Just like if you know these two groups, the Congress and the President. The Congress, just like the impeachment of Donald John Trump. let's say the Congress and the president. When once the Congress makes law, the president or rule or something, the president will have to sign it. So just say like when the wife makes a decision, the husband must have to agree with it. Okay, understand what I'm trying to say? So something like that. So let's say the wife says she wants to go shopping on Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. And she wants to go shopping for clothes. And the husband says, well, what do you think? Do you think it's safe to go out there in the COVID-19 time and it's cold? And she says, okay. She says, no, okay, so I won't go out. So the husband must have to agree with it. See, the husband didn't agree with it. He said that it's COVID-19 and it's cold. And so she must agree. But what happens if she said, no, but I still have to go shopping because my clothes are all worn out? Then there would be a big argument. And either one of them will lose the fight. And it won't be fair at all. Alright. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. For the husband is what of the wife? What is the most important thing in the body? The head. Without the head, would there be a body? No. Without a husband, there won't be a house. Okay? So the wife must listen to the head. Just like everything in the body listens to the brain. Can. When the brain says, move your hand away from this hot stove, what does your body do? So that's how wives say. That's why. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? For the husband is the head of the wife, just as Christ is the head of the church. The husband is the head of the wife. But since the husband is the head of the wife, we cannot say, but now, since I'm the head, she has to listen to me in everything that I say. Correct. No. Of course, the wife must listen to everything the husband says, but he cannot say, since she listens to everything that I can say, I'm the big boss and I can tell her what I want her to do. Correct. No. You cannot be bossy with her. You must love her. Right? That doesn't mean you are the husband, you are the head, and everything must listen. Of course, everything must listen. But you still have to love them. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. The church is subject unto Christ. Without Christ, there will be no church. Without husband, there will be no home. Now, let's give a story. It never happened on earth before. But it's just a story. The characters in the story are people who I came out with, the names. And they are not real people. So I'd just like to give the name. It might sound a bit of a funny name here. Igor and his wife. Let's just give the name. Igor and Igor. Let's say they worked at a Chevrolet yard. They worked as car dealers. And one day, Igor got sick. And he couldn't work. And Eel, a funny name, Eel. I'll just call Elizabeth. Sound better, right? Elizabeth had to do the work by herself. Igor, who has been at home resting. Now Igor, who has been at home resting, not eat lunch. Now when he came back, when then Elizabeth came back, alright, we can't say sick now, so we'll just do another story, because if you're sick, you can't help. Because if you're like tired, okay, so let's get another story. So one day, Igor Igor and Elizabeth, they work as Chevrolet dealers. And one day, Igor woke up late. And he couldn't go to work because it was too late already. And he was really tired. So he woke up later on. Of course, he got more awake. Later on, he got more awake, and then he said, "Oh well, today I don't feel like going to work." And then, of course, he didn't cook, he didn't wash. He went out to the nearest Olive Garden and got himself some sauerkraut and some pizza. Sat down at the dining table and ate. When it was over, she just tossed the dirty dishes into the sink. And after that, he went down to the couch in the living room and decided, "I'm so bored here." So he just grabbed his Bible and started to read, which was a good thing. After he read like 2 hours, it was 2 o'clock now. He decided, well, I need to use the bathroom, and after I use the bathroom, I want to turn on TV. When he turned TV, he just decided to sit down and watch for a little bit of time. And in no time, his wife was home at 4 o'clock. And she said, "You mean you have been sitting there? Did you eat lunch?" And then he said, "Yeah, I ate lunch." He said, "You did the dishes after he ate." He said, "No." And he said, "Do the dishes now." And he said, "No, I don't want to do the dishes. You go and do the dishes." And what it turned out to be, it turned out that there was a great argument. What happened later? And when his wife Elizabeth was so frustrated because he would not listen to her, he would not wash the dishes. She just grabbed the soap, poured it all over the dishes, jumped them into the sink, and she washed it real fast. And she did not rinse carefully, and there was some soap. And then later, when he made her do the cooking, she didn't cook the food well. It was not properly well done. And it was not tasty enough. And when she just prepared the sauerkraut, just chopped the cabbage and just squeezed the fish and put, let's say, loose vinegar. Okay? She squeezed lemon and she put too much lemon. It became too sour. And then she put it into, she took the rice, put it into the dishes with a bit of soap because she didn't know. And then he started to eat. After eating, he decided, "Why do you put the food so greasy?" He said, "Well, you didn't help me, so I don't know how much grease to put." And then it turned out their stomachache, and both of them ended up in the hospital because they ate a bit of soap. So do you think it's worth it that Igor, who was staying his whole day at home, is only going out to our garden to take out some food? Do you think it was fair that he would just sit at home and not help doing the dishes? No. And he made her do the dishes. That was not much, right? And it did not turn out with good results. It turned out with terrible results. Alright. Husbands? Now husbands, I'm talking about you now. So listen now. Husbands. I was saying that we're talking about the story. We're just gonna make it one more story. Again, it never happened on Earth before. Probably in Mars it happened. No, never happened. And then there were two couples who help each other every day, working in the garden. And they never did not nice things to each other. They were really nice to each other. And then they helped each other when they did the cooking, helped each other when they did the washing, and their kids were really obedient. Never did the kids disobey them. Then he had a nice family. And which family sounds better? Igor and Elizabeth's family or John and his wife's family? Which one? John and his wife. They were nice. Alright. Husbands, love your wives even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. What does husbands have to do? They are the head of the house. They also have to love their wife. Just like Christ is the head of the church, but the love is, right? It's not like husbands are the head of the house and they can think that they are the very big boss. And they say, well, I'm the big boss, so she has to listen to everything that I say. That's not nice. Husbands ought to love their wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. What did Christ do, meaning give himself for it? What is sacrifice himself? He died on the cross. And he really loved us. So husbands ought to love their wife just as Christ loved us. But no matter how much husbands do love their wives, nobody ever loves their wife, their children, or anybody else as much as Christ does love them. So I have a website and it talks about Christ. I will show you this. I'll share the screen. All right, this it's called Sermons with Joel. Actually, this is not the church that I am in. I just put a picture of a church. Okay, see? Look what it says here. Jesus really loves you. He loves you thousands, millions, billions, and trillions of times more than your parents or family members. Join us to find out more about our merciful and loving God who created all of us. And since I talked about God created all of us, we did not evolve from monkeys who have tails to swing on the trees. By the way, if you have any questions, you can email us at sdasermons@yahoo.com. I'll not reply by email, but I'll reply by a video. You know me, okay? And about us, our schedule, we have live SDA sermons every Friday evening and Saturday morning. Subscribe to see some. Jesus loves you. This YouTube channel is all about Jesus Christ and what he has done for us. John 3:16. For God so loves the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And the conclusion, if you like us, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So that's all touchdown on my YouTube channel. If you want more things, I have Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and I forgot to add TikTok in. So if you need any questions, all over here. And TikTok also. It's tiktok.com/JoelLangAnimals /LANG=EN-US/ I think. So anyway, let me go back to my other slide for you to share with you. That he might sanctify. Okay, now. Let me read the full thing again. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be made holy and without blemish. So Ephesians, I think it's Paul's letters to the people in Ephesus. I think it would come in the beginning. So Paul said that man Who? Their wives. How much should men love their wives? A lot. And a what doesn't mean by love their wives a lot. How much is a lot? Wholeheartedly. Men should love their wives. So, do wives need to love their husbands? The Bible didn't say wives need to love their husbands, but do wives need to love their husbands? Yes. They both must love each other. Only one person, so it says only one person loves in the family. Let's say one person loves this person, but this person, let's say Igor loves Elizabeth, but Elizabeth doesn't love Igor. Do you think they are called a loving family? Yes. No. Yes. No. No. They are not called a loving family. Let's say, I did this example before. If you staple two pieces of paper together, would you like someone to come out and just break those papers apart? Would you like it? Why would you like it? Let's say it's your work papers and you put them all together nicely and staple it. Would you like someone to come along the way and ripping up the paper? Oopsie. That is what people do with marriage. Marriage is God's creation. And people, what do people do? They treat it carelessly. They just take it and rip it. Is it nice? No. Do they got to tell me with it? No. God said, thou shalt not commit what? Adultery. And if you marry more than one wife, you are committing adultery. And you are ripping up the paper that God has put together. So do you think God is happy with committing adultery? Do you think God is happy with that? He's not happy like how not happy you would be if someone staples your papers together and you rip them up. And now you know why I like the wireless mice. I didn't have to be on my computer to flip to the next slide. I can just use the mice to flip. And it's already on the next slide. Do you see me go there to flip? No. By the way, you can control slide with just one click of the button. This. You might be thinking I'm a professional guy with, I don't know what you call those things that you can flip to the next slide, remote controls, wherever those silly stuff are. I just use, you know what is down here in my home church? Not really home church, but the place where I film all these sermons. All you need is a living room, a tripod. I don't use the tripod all the time. Right now, currently, I'm not using a tripod. I just use a tripod, a living room. Of course, you need a room for filming this stuff. 2 microphones. One is the cable is a USB cable. Another one is just a regular mic that people use anywhere you can find, like a church or something. And which I don't even have the microphone stand, and neither am I holding the microphone in my hand. Where is it? On my light. Yeah, I use a light that we don't use. See, standing on a little pole. It's not really tall. About 4'6", or less than 6. With the camera, I just put the mic on top and it works well and shit for the microphone. 2 chairs, one for the computer where I'm recording, and I also use a website called Streamyard. If you look at the description, it says powered by Streamyard. Free version. Also, a loudspeaker that I can connect my mic to. A Bible. Wireless mice. I prefer wireless mice. The wireless mice comes, of course, along with this. I don't know what to call this. I'm using Logitech and a Chrome computer and a web browser. It's very simple. If you just go to Streamyard.com, if you have a YouTube channel, a Facebook page, a Twitter account, you can just stream to Twitch. Twitch is from Twitter. Or Facebook Live, or you can stream to your YouTube account. I mean, the only thing I have that I really film live on. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I don't have all those stuff. I also only have Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. That's it. And I just you go to StreamYard. All you need is just a YouTube channel. And you can see this. You can see here, just now when I share my entire screen, you should see share screen like in Zoom, but it's not Zoom. And I could either just want to click a button, I could just choose whatever slide preference I want. See, I can just put my own picture there. Oh, there's only one person joining this one, so I can just want to click a button, I can do anything, like a professional live streamer. Professional filmer. And all I just need to use for streaming is just this. This one is my remote. The computer is my slideshow. I don't know what you call this. What's that big thing?
Nature. The outdoor nature.
No. The screen where the churches, they have those big screens and they put the slide up there and they do the projector and all this silly stuff.
Screen.
Yeah, I don't have a screen. I don't need a projector. Streamyard is my projector. Simple, right? Anyway, we're not going to talk about all this stuff, all this crazy stuff. But now we're going to read Ephesians 28, chapter 5:28. So ought men to love their wife as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. You know what? How iPhones are affecting family. Wife, you know how your iPhones are affecting your family life? There was a very smart quote I like. It says, iPhone has overtaken your camera, your watch. Don't let it take over your family. Well, later I'll talk more about the phone when it comes back later. You will see. Don't worry, because I'll see. Alright. So, this phone, how small is this phone? It's about 14 centimeters and 5 1/4 inch. And how big is your family? Like, our family has 3 people. So 5, if you have 5 people in the family, 5 people. So this little phone can affect your whole family. They can change your whole family. If you give a phone to your kids, you will never expect them to talk to you again. Didn't hear me. If you give a phone to your kids, you will never expect them to talk to you again. You know why? Once they have the phone, they will download all those crazy gaming apps and they will download every single thing they can think of having on a kid's phone. They will download like apps that they can play games So yeah, talking about games, I tricked my friend many times. Oh, not really. It's not even my friend. Not many times, but just once. Once. Even my friend, my cousin. I have a cousin who likes to play video games. And likes to play racing car games. I saw it one day. I caught him one day. We were out on a trip. I don't know, we were just driving around Times Square, Manhattan. Came back, time to eat supper. After washing hands and everything, what do we do when we come back? I turned off his iPad completely, so he can't play a game. Now kids don't learn from this because this was when I was really young. So kids don't learn from this. Kids who are watching this don't learn. It's not nice. Because when I was young, I didn't know. I could have told him. I didn't have to turn off his iPad completely. I was like 4 or 5 at that time. So, and then of course, I told his father before. I told him, your son is playing video games again. He said, oh man. And I remember when the iPad was on again, my mother called and said, come and eat, guys. And I could not remember what really happened later. Did he leave his iPad behind and just go come back later after eating? Or he just didn't play? I don't remember that part, but I just remember the jokey part. Which man or lady, which person ever hated their own body? Who? Nothing. But I tell you what, those guys who don't love their wives, they don't love themselves. Really. It's not from me, it's from the Bible. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. So ought men to love their wives with their own bodies. How much do people love their own bodies? How much? Is that so how much people should love their wives? It's not from me. It's from the Bible. That is how much men ought to love their wives. Because please tell me, he that loveth his wife, loveth himself. But you might say, I love myself. If you don't love your wife, you don't love yourself, guys. For no man ever hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherished it, even as the Lord, the church. For no man, what does it say here? For no man ever hated his own flesh. Any man hates himself. Which man hates himself? I'm sure no man hates himself, right? I can prove to you, everybody feeds themselves. And even when they pray, they say, bless me, keep me safe, don't let me get COVID, and help me to make me good, make me nice. Tell me not to go to prison when I go out today. Tell me not to show bad hand signs. Tell me not to say bad words. Help me to this and that. And when they take the food, they give their lives to themselves. See? No man ever hated himself. But if they don't love their wives, they don't love themselves. The lips don't really say much. It's their actions. If you really love your wife, you really love them yourself. And I mean, if you really love your spouse, your husband, and your wife, you really love yourself. But if you don't really love them, you don't really love yourself. You just say, and people can just say, I love you, but actually inside they don't. You know? You're going to say, this is nice food, but inside you say, this is yucky. Just say it. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. We are members of whose body? God's body. His flesh, his bones. It's from the Bible. For this cause shall a man, what does it say? For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. At first, they are two God beings, but once they are married, they become how many flesh? One flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband. What does the wife have to do? Reverence her husband. What does the husband have to do? Love his wife. Okay. Show you the next slide. All right, so this is 1995 versus 2020. This is part 1. And we're going to show you many more pictures. Do you notice the differences from 1995 and now? How was the TV like in 1995? How did TVs look like? Big. And people? Long time ago, I'm sure people don't really use too much TV as how everybody uses now. And in 2020, what is the difference? 1995, big TV, small body. In 2020, big body. The reason why the bodies become bigger is because they sit down too much. After eating, they eat too much, they eat, and they sit. Okay, now 1995 versus 2020. In 1995, anybody still remembers in 1995? Those of you who were born 25 years ago. Anybody still remember those days when there were no such thing as video games? And when you were playing soccer ball outside and your mother has to pull you by the ear to come into the house. When there were no such thing as video games. The good days. Before the Twin Towers collapsed. Those days, the children, they really wanted to play outside. But what was the difference in 2020? You see the picture in 1995? The children, I'm sure the mother was calling him to go back and eat. But he wanted to play outside so much that you see he's so small. And because he didn't eat much. Because last he didn't really eat. Because he wanted to play ball. And so he became so small. But in 2020, he became big. The boys became big. Why? They take the remote control and they sit down and they start to play a game. Is that right? Yeah, people are so into games today. They just play games or nothing. This year, last year actually, mothers had to pull. So that's what it drew there. The cartoon. Mothers have to pull the son's ears to get him out of the door because he doesn't like just come out. He was still stuck with the game and he was so lazy in the house and he was still with the remote control wanting to play more. But the mother said, TV. It's summertime. Want to take a walk? No, I want to play. And as we see in the next slide, how in the world did I get the wrong slide? All right. 1995. What is it? By the way, I'm trying to sneeze now. I can't sneeze. 1995, the children all run to the lady and said, "That's my mother, that's my mother." And the mother was like, everybody was watching. By in 2020, when the mother grows old with gray hair, the two adults who had been children 24 years ago, they're like this, your mother, your mother. Next one. All right. Now, a long time ago, everywhere you go, Jackson High and Roosevelt subway station. What do they sell there? Newspapers. Now, do you see really newspaper stores out there? Not really. Long time ago, when there was no this one that you can read the New York Times from or Apple News, because I just saw Apple News. There's no such thing as all those things. They read news from the newspaper. They sit down on the chair, sit down, and just start to read a newspaper. Because there was nothing better to do. But now in these days, we don't have to go to a store and buy a newspaper. Where's the newspaper these days? In your computer, in your phone, in your iPad. Toya, the iPhone has taken away your watch, camera, your newspaper, the time is you're spending time with God, spending time with your family, your books. Yeah, now it seems like Apple is taking away people's books. They have e-books now, and don't let it take away your family. Yeah, really. iPhones have taken away most of your daily life, but let me tell you what, guys. Do not let this modern technology take away family. Okay, another funny one here. In 1995, I'm not sure why they put the picture in 1995. Someone wears the pants so high up. Why do you think it's that? Why do you think in 1995 people wear the pants so high up? Huh? Probably they were bored. They wanted to create some fun. And if you see the picture, you come in here and see. Guys, everybody would like to come and see. And I find everybody walks the pants up like that. See? Why is that? Probably too thin or something? 1995, they wear the pants up high, walking around now. We don't really see those, but instead, the pants are a bit down now. Huh? Oh, it's funny, actually, yeah. Watch wear the pants high up. Now, no. 1995. Landline united the family. What united the family in 1995? Landline. This thing, look. Why is that the landline united the family? Because they could call Uncle John. And when they call Uncle John, the whole family starts to sit down and comes to the phone and listen. By the way, I see this guy's picture. He looks a bit like Mario Cuomo. And probably the smaller boy over there. I show you which one I'm talking about. I hope you can see the mice here. That boy is Governor Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo. Long time ago, the landline united the family. Why can landline unite the family? Why? When somebody calls, everybody wants to say, who's talking about? Their mother was in the Those were very nice days when people, they didn't have phones. But what happened in 2020? Mom divided the family. You know how? I'll show you guys how. In the store, not in the store, but in the restaurant, everybody has a chair. And while waiting, they start to go on the phone. So they just go check their phone. And the only time when they look up from the phone is when the waiter comes. They say, oh, I want this and that and this and that. When they finish talking, their eyes just go there like they're just springing their neck connected to the phone. I just go, take the phone. Hello? Hello? Hi. How are you doing? I'm doing. Oops. So, long time ago, it was like this. Now, this is how it is like. What was this? Hi. How are you doing? Oh, I'm great. Great. Oh, hi. Hello, how are you doing today? Good. Oh, you want to go and play golf today? Oh, I'm free today. Oh, okay. All right. Bye. And then now, do we have YouTube on the phone? We download the YouTube app. We're stuck with it. Pushing subscribers in. When subscribers get in, you started everything. And there's Instagram, and you go and check out all these stuff on Instagram. And you have TikTok, and you go and see everything on TikTok. Everything, all these stuff. But long time ago, there was no TikTok, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was no Pinterest, there was no YouTube, there was no Instagram. There was none of those. But what was there? There was only one thing that united the family, and that was the telephone. Now, families are divided by mobile. The letters MOBILE. Divided people's families. Why? You see, long time ago, people were happier. Now, people are more like. Actually, especially you see people walking on the street. We saw a couple of times before. They're walking on the street, and to them, chatting with other people on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook was more important than their lives. And they were using and they were just walking on the streets using the phone. Just walking. And when we were driving, we often have to beep because they were not paying attention to the car passing by. Give me 1 second, guys. I had a really weird drink in front of me. Yeah, it is ginger and garlic water and turmeric. And we put some lemon in it. Wow, that's weird. So that's antivirus. We joined a Zoom meeting and we learned about this. It actually got onions inside. If I put onions inside, it would taste weirder. It's weird. It's a weird taste. Give me 1 second, guys. Smells weird. I hope you guys on YouTube don't smell it. If you smell, I'll be in trouble. I do want myself to drink. Oh, 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. So, landline united the family, but what did Marble do? Marble divided the family. Now everybody in the household has a phone. Husband has a phone. Wife has a phone. Children have a phone. Dogs have a phone. Cats have a phone. Now the only thing that people will have that do not have a phone are animals. Hope nobody will create phones for animals. And now that everybody is so busy, they don't even have time to play with their dog. Why? Because of Marble. I told you, Marble divided the family. I hope people will create phones for dogs. If we create phones for dogs, the whole household is going to be messed up because of phone. Oh man, very weird. So, and in 1995, people see someone drowning. They help them. But in 2020, when they see someone drowning, they try to take pictures. See, what did Marble do? What did Marble do? Marble created a big trouble on people's lives. Did they? Oh, I don't have to say what they did. You know. Marble created a big trouble. When we drive in the street, we often have to honk people to be aware there's a car coming. We never use the phone on the streets. Look, the whole family is using the iPhone. Father used iPhone. Son used iPhone. The 3 daughters using iPhone. Mother uses iPhone. Do you think they ever look up from their phone to just ask a question? It seems like their eyes are glued to the phone. It seems like people don't understand themselves with the phone. That's not good. The phone, one day, phone is going to get people to get away from God. Satan invented all this. by the way. And you see the cars, the newer cars, they have something in the car called touchscreen. And those touchscreens are not really good. You know why? You can do whatever you want. And the weird thing is, I saw it in Cadillac and in Chrysler. I see when people sit in the car, it's not like a car, it became an aeroplane. They have a screen over there. What do you do when they come out? See nature. But what do these people do when they come out? See computer. Now this one, what is this? The cat uses the iPhone. Now, if the cat uses the iPhone, the whole family is in big trouble. You know why? Animals are the ones who don't have iPhones yet, and those who don't have iPhones, blessed be they. They can be with their animals, but people who use the phone they don't even have time for anything. They don't even have time to spend time with God. I'm sure Satan is happy when he sees everybody is busy with their phone. I'm sure he's really happy with that, because that's saying, aha, it's godless people. They're not gonna worship God anymore. They're too much into the phone. The phone has replaced most of their things. And I hope I'll create a phone that will replace their family. Says that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe, hit the bell notification. Like the video, smash the like button. Thank you everybody for watching this video. God bless you. Have a happy Sabbath for the rest of